Australia.
You see there, I'm getting very excited for today's show because we're going to talk about fatherhood. Now, from early morning routines to life-shaping lessons, Aussie dads have a quiet way of leaving a powerful mark. In this episode, we celebrate the stories of fathers across Australia, men who lead with love, strength, and unwavering presence. We'll hear the honest reflection of fatherhood, the values passed down through generations, and the everyday moments that define what it means to be a dad. Now, for today, I am Brother John Villanueva, and I'm saying hello and good night to all our viewers around the world. Welcome to another episode of INCRadio Made in Australia. I am from the local congregation of Dean Park, District of New South Wales. And today we're taking a walk down memory lane and maybe even down the driveway with a special tribute to dads who shaped our lives. From life lessons to dad jokes, from quiet strength to loud cheers on the sidelines, we're shining a spotlight in the father figures, and role models who continue to inspire us across Australia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brother Warwick from the local congregation of Kingston City in the District of Victoria. And I'm also very, very excited for today's episode. You know, fatherhood is such a special role in the family. And I think today's episode is we're going to talk about all these very touching moments about fatherhood. And it makes me think of, you know, the fathers and the families I see in our congregation and how touched I am to see them in the way that they worship together and the way that they live together. And so our head deacons at our congregation are excellent examples of fathers with their families. So today, you know, as you hear the inspiration, the inspiring stories, please comment. If you think about those figures that you see in your congregation or in your family, by all means, you know, leave some comments in the YouTube chat. Tell us your stories and tell us what inspires you.
Stay with us as we dive into the heartfelt stories, everyday challenges, and quiet triumphs of fathers across Australia. From life lessons to lasting legacies, we'll explain what it means to walk in a father's footstep and the impact they make in our lives, often in the simplest moments.
Hello to all our brethren. I am Sister Stephanie Nicole Limuco, and once again, I'm from the local congregation of Cordon Park, District of New South Wales, Australia. Plus, we've got fun trivia, live shoutouts, and a few surprises along the way. So gather the family. You're watching a father's footsteps stories from Australia. So ready your tissues or your handkerchiefs because this will be a heartfelt episode for today. We will be having our shout out spot to all of the brethren who is watching the INC radio program. So from Brother Marvin Ferrer, happy viewing po from Melbourne. Hello po from all of the brethren from Melbourne. Next po is Sister Hazel Rubleza, greetings from Windham. Brother John Kyle Nagal, happy viewing po from local of Maryland. And Brother Carlo Palyan, happy viewing po from Adelaide. And Sister Linda Esperanza, happy viewing po from local of Adelaide po. Hello po to all.
Okay, I think but for now, let's just have a look at Discovering Down Under.
Australia is home to many unique experiences, and for some, one of the most life-changing is becoming a dad. From the quiet suburbs to the busy cities, the journey of fatherhood takes shape in many forms across the country. And today, we take a closer look at what it's like to be a dad in Australia, where fatherhood is shaped by the land they live in, the stories they carry, and the love they give. And these are the steps they take, everyday heroes walking their own path down under.
I love that video clip. I think it's so very true. You know, there's fatherhood is something I believe is an ever evolving journey. Children change; they're always different, and so that video clip captures all that. And of course, in Australia, there's so much to do outdoors, indoors,
Yes.
your family.
You know what? It's really just a basic video of fathers being themselves with their children. You know, taking the children to see the zoo, for example. That's quite amazing. But before we go for a quick break, we just like to say a quick hello to Sister Juveline Manuel. His mom says hello to you. So she's from the local congregation of Wyndham in Victoria there. So your mom from New Zealand is saying a quick hello to you. Now, stay tuned because you are watching Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia's Satellite Studio.
Made in Australia.
Now, today's episode is all about love, leadership, and lasting legacies as we reflect on the inspiring role of fathers in our lives. We're excited to welcome a special guest to the program, someone who I've known since he was a little kid, and now he's a beautiful, great father. Okay, someone whose story captured the heart of what it means to be a dad. Now, joining us from the local congregation of Sydney is Brother Jimor Santos. Brother Jimor, how you doing this afternoon here in Sydney?
I'm doing great, Brother John. It's great to see you.
I tell you, I know that we had a quick pre-production earlier, and I tell you, there wasn't a single dry eye in any of the studios because what you said was truly inspiring, and it's also it does hits the heartstring, don't you think? It just really reminds us about our Father, and now as Father, what it means to be a father and what we can do to do the best for our children. So we have quite a lot to talk about, but let's start the conversation with Brother Jimor, what does being a father mean to you, and how has it shaped who you are today?
Well, brother, as you're aware, growing up, I didn't have a dad, so it was very important for me to really embody what it means to be a father. So when we found out that we were going to have a child, Reiko and myself, I wanted to be the dad that I wish I had. Somebody that was present, somebody that could lead, and somebody that could be a friend as well. So I really wanted to make sure that these were all the boxes that were ticked.
And I think I believe you've already succeeded in that. I have watched you over the years in my old age today. I've seen your children being so little, watching them in the children's worship service and having an office, being active in the church, and you and your wife, Rico, has been extremely inspiring as well. So I believe Brother Warwick has a question for you as well, because we're all going to be, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to probably continue to ask you a lot of questions because we're very curious. And we know that me personally, I would like to see all fathers actually take a leaf from your book, because I think it's a great way to have this positive masculinity in the house, the strength, the leadership in the house. So, Brother Warwick, go ahead with your question, please.
Please, Brother Jamor, share with us some of the things that you do with your daughters, and tell us how you've taught them, discipline to live a good life.
Yeah, hi, brother. So I've got three wonderful daughters, and they all have different personalities. And I've got my wife. So in this household, we have four amazing ladies. Even my puppy, she's a female. So I'm surrounded by ladies here. Okay. But what we do have is this bond where we're all best friends. We're all there together. We share the same passions. We share obviously the same faith, and they see us through that. And I'm truly blessed. I feel like God has really blessed me with these special ladies in my life, because honestly, what they've done for me, they've inspired me as much as I've inspired them. So it's a two-way street. It really isn't us going, this is what you need to do. I see brilliance in them, and I really praise them for what they're doing, because there were times when we were having it tough, and it was like my eldest daughter, we call her little Melita. So my late mother's name was Melita, and she has a very similar personality, and for that I see that in her, and it's just amazing how she can be a good ate for her other sisters and be a really good role model. But it's also because Reiko and we're very consistent with our parenting. We make sure that we're always there at church. We're always putting God before everything else. And we're making sure through the good times and bad, that God has a plan for us. And we are so thankful that it's come through in the end.
And if I can just quickly ask, because your daughters are not little kids anymore, right? They're not little children anymore. They've grown up. They've gone through, or some of them have gone up through, being teenagers. And so I think one of the challenges that a father would face, or parents in general, actually, is inspiring your children to share in the faith, to be active in the faith, but to actually take it on board into their own hearts. Can you please share how you think you may have inspired some of that?
Yeah, so like with trials and tribulations, we always talk about it in church. Okay, everybody, we turn up to church and we all have something heavy that we might be carrying, and no one else can see that. Our children see that though, because once we leave church, they can see how much we've struggled. I came from a place where we were in minimum wage and we were grinding multiple jobs, but they saw how hard we worked. We never complained. We were blessed. No matter how hard life gets, like comparison, as I said earlier on, is the thief of joy. We never compared ourselves to anyone else. We knew that God had a plan for us. Our purpose was to fulfill that. Our children, Liana is now about to turn 20. Kiara is 16, and my youngest, Eureka, she's 12 years old. What we're trying to build is build resilience in our children, and also bring faith into their hearts. Because I always say to the girls, we're building you up because one day we're no longer going to be there for them. So we have to lay out that roadmap for them and be the best example, and understand that whatever happens, whatever God has in plan for us, just have faith and push through all the difficult times.
I think the fact that you said that you instill faith in them, by definition, having strong faith will give you resilience. So that's why it's so important. And you molded them so young. Because I remember watching them from the children's worship service, performing their duties in the choir. So obviously you guided them and you molded them. Like what they say in the Bible. Teach the children the way they should walk, so when they get old, they will not depart. I think you really exemplified that, Brother Jamor. So I'm just so it's gonna cause a lot of questions. It's gonna have a lot of questions because a lot of parents are curious. They're having problem with the kids. They don't know what to do now. So a lot of questions will be happening. I believe Sister Steph will have a question in a minute as well, ready for you. But for those other fathers out there who may be having a bit of, maybe they didn't start as well as you did in terms of or bringing the children up very young. Today, what would you advise them to do if they have to restart over again and their child is already 15 or 16 years old, for example, and now they've seen this show, they've inspired from you? What would be your best piece of advice to be a good masculine figure in the household as a father?
I think a really important thing that we need to understand is that children, they will see you as everything when they're growing up. But as they get older, they will be exposed to other children, other people. And, for a period of time, they will listen and obey everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you are able to lead by example and be an honest human being and really just dedicate yourself to God, dedicate yourself to your family, they will respect that as they grow up. I
Yes.
think it's when we stop that connection with our children, when we're no longer present. I'm just talking, it's not even like we could be physically together, but if you're not present together,
Yeah.
then it really doesn't matter, because you could be in another room in another town. We need to be always present with our children, engaging. I think there was a period in my life where it was one of the happiest times where I was freelancing. And I could spend the afternoons with them, because I remember there was times when I was at work, it was such a sunny day. I was like, oh man, I wish I could be with my kids. So they're the days that I don't take for granted, where I can spend time with them, because one day, the children will grow up and they'll leave the house. They'll be with their families, and they're moments you can't get back.
Yeah, I 100% quite agree there, Man, that's I'm already learning a lot from you, and I'm an older person than you are. But my daughter is actually younger than your daughter, so I'm quite a bit late. My daughter, anyway, one daughter, I got Jody. Sister Steph, I believe you had a question a little earlier.
Yes, well, Brother John, thank you so much. Brother Jimor, I just want to say that uh the way you speak, it's really very well said. Like I think you will be a good role model for all of our brothers in the faith. But so now I would just wanna ask, can you share a memorable moment or lesson from your journey as a dad?
Yeah, look, some of the most amazing times that I've shared with my children were the ones where we were probably pushing ourselves to the very limit. Like there was times when my children, Liana especially, Kiara, and even little Yuri, we would run around our park, and because they would get ready for things like cross country or sports carnivals, or even like soccer training. And now, like with their Brazilian jiu-jitsu, we're pushing each other. We have this certain bond that if we struggle together, we go through the grind together, we'll come out good in the end. So there were moments when I was holding their hand and dragging them across. And one tip that I always have for parents, because even at the academy, they ask me, how do you do this? I say, listen, set up parameters and think that they are controlling this. Because I always said to my girls, listen, we're going to go run, what do you want, 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers today? And they're like, oh, we're going to run 2 kilometers. And in their head, they think they won. But I actually set the parameters up.
Yes.
And they came out feeling like, oh, dad went soft on us today, but I made them run 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
And because of those little tricks, those little hacks, my children, they're not genetically blessed. I'm not genetically blessed, but they managed to get through to regionals. They pushed through, and at the end of the day, it was a lot of heart that got them through it. And that's
Good.
why I say, if you've got a lot of heart, a lot of determination, a lot of faith, you'll get through all the trials. You build that resilience.
I think, Brother Jamor, you made a bit of a mistake there. Shh, don't tell Sister Eureka. Now she knows.
She's actually on the couch. I think she's just fallen asleep.
Now she knows. But, she still thinks you're a superhero anyway. You know what? You talked about the, like the gym, for example. I should have asked you this at the very beginning. Can you just let the audience know what it is that you guys do together? You do. We know that you will awarded martial artist along with all your family, your wife and your daughters. They've achieved quite a lot of things, and also personal life as well. You guys are running a business. Just let the audience know, let them know a little bit more about yourself, because I felt to ask that in the beginning, because I think that you should know, because you're giving a lot of advice on fatherhood, but they want to know who's this person, who's Brother Jamor. Why is he inspirational? What has he done? Let us know, please.
Yep. So I'm a black belt Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor that runs my own academy in Parramatta. My academy is open 7 days a week. I run Monday to Saturday with my eldest daughter running the Sunday classes. She teaches the children and the adults as well. When I'm away for work, for competitions, Reiko, for example, Reiko and I just came back from Tokyo. We fought at the Asia Open, and whereas Sister Reiko, I call her Coach Reiko, but Sister Reiko also won gold in her division. So in her phone, I call her the Queen of Asia.
Yeah.
We had my eldest and my middle daughter running this academy, and the amount of messages that I was getting from the members, be it parents, even to adult members, in awe and in respect of what my children were doing, running a full gym. It was very inspiring for them to see that, with the right parenting, these children can actually just build themselves up like that. And at the time, they were managing schooling, like university, high school. They were dealing with other work as well, but they got through it. So where our academy was built by a family, I always said, because when I first when I was doing martial arts, jiu-jitsu, my children would always say, "Oh, Dad, during the school holidays, we want to do jiu-jitsu." I said, "One day I'm going to build you an academy, and you're going to be sick of it because
Yeah.
it's going to be on all the time." They are not sick of it. They're actually
Yeah.
flying down to Melbourne this weekend to fight at the nationals. But
Wow.
what they're doing here, no matter the result, I'm so proud of them. And I always say, whenever you come into our academy, you actually you jump into our family. Once you jump on the mats, you become part of our family here.
Nice. I noticed there's a discipline involved there, and the discipline has been, I believe, instilled in them at a very young age because your faith obviously is quite strong. Because no matter what you prioritize, so let the audience know how you prioritize it, and also the way that you brought your children up to their duties as well. Like they performed a week in, week out as a choir members in the children's worship service. Can you tell us a little bit about that in terms of background? Because this is what shaped you to be a good father. How has your faith shaped you as the father that you are today? And by the way, when I say he's a good father, I can vouch. I've seen it. I know him. I've seen his children, the way they look up to him, the way his wife really respects and loves him. I've seen it all. So tell the audience out there, your faith, how has it really shaped you to become the best father and the best version of yourself?
So thank you, brother. I really do appreciate your kind words. But what people don't see is that the grind that we do every day. But the main priority is making sure that God comes first. Because throughout my life, it was never easy. It was very difficult, especially when I lost my mother just before Eureka was born. My children saw that, and they saw how much faith that I had in the bigger picture. So much so that my mum, and I don't want to get too emotional here, but my mum, the day before she died, she was she was actually at the Holy Supper. So we had to wheelchair her in. She made it the day before she passed away. So when you see, when my children see that, when my children see us coming from the bottom and then rising up to where we are now, it's a no-brainer that God was always there. God was always, he always had our back, you know? So it's very important for them to see that no matter the good or the bad times, God comes first, you know? So 6:30 in the morning on Wednesdays, before their school starts, before work starts, we're going to church. On the weekends, after we teach our lessons or before we teach our lessons on a Sunday, we're there at church. That's a non-negotiable, you know? And I think people need to understand, because parents come to us, you know, at the academy, "Oh, my child doesn't want to do this and that." I go, listen, if you're negotiating with your child now, they're going to grow up and they're going to be difficult adults. You need to understand there are things that are bigger than you, and you have to make sure that these are non-negotiables. Religion for us, church, this is a non-negotiable. We're there for God, and we need to really present ourselves the way that He's blessed us. How can we doubt that? You know, how can we deny His blessings?
Yeah, that's a, oh yeah, it's amazing. I don't believe that you should negotiate with your children at a very young age because they're being guided still, you know. So obviously, I know your mother. I remember her. She doesn't negotiate with you, and she's brought up a good man. She's an amazing man. So it's a great legacy to leave behind, and I think it's wonderful that even your oldest one reminds you of your mother. I think it's a beauty that there's not, it's intangible. It's just there. It's, you feel it. Even the way your wife cooks, you can expand that a little bit later. I mean, it's just all beautiful. It's just there because of your upbringing, and that's who you are and who you are. Sorry, Sister Steph, you had some people watching have greetings as well.
Yes po, Brother John. Thank you so much. And I just want to say, Brother Jamor and Brother John, I think it only takes a little of encouragement to their children. So because when I did sports as well, my mother encouraged me to do taekwondo. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah,
so for we have a brethren who will be shouted up. For brother Robert Santos, resident minister of local of Vietnam. We
Yes.
appreciate all the wonderful advice that we received from INC Radio in regards to being a father. Hashtag Winham. Watching INC Radio inspires us, encourages us, and helps us being proud of our kids. Encouraging our kids and leading by example, especially in faith and serving God in the Church of Christ, we have learned this afternoon. Thank you po, Brother Robert Santos. We believe by these words.
Brother Robert, he's another one that I've seen since he was little. Now he's a resident minister. It's amazing how everyone have grown up to be great people, and we find that inside the Church of Christ, Iglesia Ni Cristo. I guess it stems from the lesson we learned. I know, Brother Jamor, you've always attended children's worship service as well. So I think it's been I think that's why you're who you are as well. That's one of the major factors in your life.
I just want to, in terms of active listening, I'm just thinking there are a couple of key messages that Brother Jamor has shared. So one is you share a responsibility with your children in that they keep the gym running when you can't be there. And that's amazing. That's awesome. And then you live that priority of church first, right? Faith first. And so that's two, very sincere and very strong lessons that you've already given us. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Okay, now just continue to stay tuned because you are watching Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INCRadio.
Made in Australia.
Go ahead, Brother Warwick.
Welcome back, everyone. You're still watching A Father's Footsteps, Stories from Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INCRadio. And by the way, we have a shout out for the 12th of August, Sister Alpha Ruega. Happy birthday, Pop. Thank you, Pop. Now, so far, we've heard touching reflections on fatherhood and everyday moments that shape a dad's journey. Now let's dive a little deeper as we continue our conversations with Brother Jamor. We have some question discussions.
Okay, Brother Jamor, there's actually a lot of questions, but what we're doing is getting off script because we are very, very interested in the way that you've been brought up. Now, your mother, obviously, what kind of discipline? Because we're all learning about being a good dad, and obviously you've been molded properly when you're young. Like, how did she bring you up, and what lessons that you've learned from your mother that now you instill to your children? Because not having a father figure growing up, for example, you didn't have a father growing up. She still managed to do the job of two people, and she still brought you up to be a strong. It's very rare actually for a single mother to bring up a strong, positive, masculine man like yourself. So tell us some of the lessons and that she's instilled in you at a very young age. Obviously, the faith is part of it because she took you to church all the time. That's why I used to see you all the time. What are some of the other things, discipline that she's brought to you that you're bringing to your children as a father?
Yeah, brother. With mom, she taught me consistency. So, like, really, just making sure that throughout the week we had that consistency going. Church was always the priority, so we made sure that church. We went to pray. We went to go to church midweek and then weekend. And she was such a hard, diligent worker, and she got through. She was, as you said, two parents in one. Okay, so for me, the amount of respect I had for my mum was just paramount. The one thing that she did teach me inadvertently was that you need to have faith in God, and you need to understand that you can be anywhere. Like, my mum came from the Philippines all the way here to give me a better life.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I didn't understand that. I didn't appreciate that until I started having my children. And then I went back and thought to myself, my mom didn't come all the way here to go through this for me to be mediocre. Okay. I want to actually be someone. And I want to inspire my children. So everything I did, it doesn't matter what job it was, I was putting in 110% effort. So the biggest job obviously was parenting. So everything
Yes.
had to be 110%. There was no, I couldn't be a mediocre dad because it would do my mum a disservice. She was two
100%.
parents in one. And if I fail at being just one parent out of two, it makes no sense. So I had to give everything I had to my children. We did everything together. So we did like when my girl signed up to play soccer, my wife and I, we registered to play soccer. So where I ended up captaining the Australian soccer team for Unity Games in the Philippines. It's because my children were actually playing soccer first.
Yeah.
So anything that they were doing, we would make sure we were involved, whether we were coaching, whether we were participating, because I don't want to be that parent where I tell my kids to push while I'm sitting on the couch. That to me that doesn't resonate. I was the one leading. So I think as a parent, you need to be the leader of that family. You
Yes.
need to push through and you need to set that example. Otherwise, children will see you. I don't want to say the word hypocrite, but not leading by example.
Yeah.
And for me, respect is a huge thing because whether you're making minimum wage or you're making whatever dollars you are, if you come home and you are an honest human being, full of faith, and understand that you have a purpose in this life, your children will love you no matter what.
Yeah. 100%
Real,
there. I agree. 100% there. Yeah, Brother Roy, go ahead, please.
I
Sorry.
was going to say that's real commitment to being a role model. I mean, that's going above and beyond in some ways, not just being there for them when they're in their sport of choice, but actually taking part and joining for yourself. That's real commitment, brother. That's awesome.
It's
Appreciate
interesting
it.
also how you mentioned that you said that your mother inadvertently, I think the word you're saying is that because she was leading by example, that it became a norm to you. So she may not have actively said, I'm going to teach him to do this, but because she led by example all the time, that's what you ended up doing as well. So her faith was effectively passed on to you by example. Because children, that's how we learn. Oh, that's how they learn. So I guess that's what you're doing to your children. And you know what? I see it in your children. Every time I see them, I don't see them often, but when I do see them, I see quite a lot of discipline and respect from them all the time. And that's you may not have realized it, but I did see that with you and your between you and your mom, because I know the hardship your mom. I was old enough to realize that she was going through hard times and still bringing you up, and she still managed to produce the result that she will have honored her because now you got a strong member of the Church of Christ, a good man with integrity, and a good father. So fatherhood wise, what other advice would you give to say a first time father when they're just starting out? We asked the ones who's too late, but how about the ones that are, look, I'm gonna have a kid in the next month or two. What would be your advice for fathers or soon to be fathers?
Yeah, look, it's exciting when you're about to be a dad. I remember I used to talk to Liana through Reiko's belly, and Kiara and Yuri. I used to talk to them, and then like I was thinking in my head, maybe if they can hear my voice, they can when they eventually are born, they're used to my voice already. But the one thing is cherish each moment. No matter how tired you are, God has blessed you with a child. And that's saying something because not everyone can have children. It's really, really tough. But here you are with a child. You might have 2-3 hours sleep, but you've got a child in your hand. That child, you know, even if your child is crying, like my eldest, I couldn't put her down.
Mm,
Every time I put her down, she would be crying.
yeah.
But now that same personality has actually, even though she's 20 years old, she's about to turn 20, she's still always in my life. Like she always wants to be around.
Yeah.
So that is not a bad thing. Like I know people go, oh, leave the child, let her cry out, and I'm like, For me, I was always holding my
I
children.
did the same as me. Everyone told me that leave them, cry it out. Because no, they don't know anything else but the feeling of emotion. So I didn't care. I picked them up.
Yeah,
I still don't pick them up,
exactly,
but she's 17
exactly.
now.
And that will translate to that connection like later on in life. You will have that connection where no matter where they are, they'll call you, go, Dad, all right, I'm coming home now. Oh, Dad, I'm at the shops. Do you need anything? Like they literally call me and say, do you need any groceries? I'm going grocery shopping. Like that type of connection is because it was implanted when we were like when our children are first born, you know. So be engaged, be present, because before you know it, in a blink of an eye, they're adults, and you can never get that back, you
That's
know.
right.
So just be in the moment with your children, but also let them know that they are a blessing from God.
Yeah.
No matter how tired you are, just you I think we both, parent and child, need to understand this is a magical moment gifted
Mhm.
by God,
Yeah.
and you cannot take that away from, from being a parent. Like it I say it because I've got three awesome kids,
Mm.
and my eldest is about to finish primary school this year.
Yeah.
We've done like 15 years of primary school, the same school, you
Yeah.
know. Liana was the prime minister. The youngest, Yuri, she's the prime minister. Kiara was the sports minister. It's
Yeah.
because we were always engaged. We were
Yeah.
always present. And even with their speeches, we were helping them out. We didn't write for them, but we helped them out, you know. But now they're still in our lives and they still want to be part of that.
Man, that's beautiful. I believe Sister Steph's got a question in a minute, but if you don't mind, because I talk a lot more than most people do. But your kids are, they they work very hard, and I like that you instilled in them that working hard is the only thing that really you have to work for something. You have to, no one wants to go to the gym all the time. Nobody wants to do that run. Nobody wants to get their body twisted and getting choked. Nobody wants that, but you still do it. And I believe that the hard work is what gives you joy. Without hard work, you just can't have that contentment. And I think your whole family practices it, and they see it in you and Sister Reiko, because Sister Reiko, she's not she has to work hard to get that championship, man. I mean, congratulations to her, by the way. I
Thank
mean, this
you.
we haven't because of covering fatherhood, but maybe we have a should show about sports and health and fitness, especially with the whole family. But so, what would you advise those? You sort of got to balance also, because a man's life is hard. You've got to work hard, because if anything happens to the family, no matter who causes it, it's always the man's responsibility. That's my belief in that. That's why. But what would you advise to the fathers who are also very very busy for their family, but also not lose that ability to be in touch with their kids? I mean, I understand a lot of people. I do 80 hours a week of work, and I still try to work hard to be with the family. But what would you advise for those people? And then after that, Sister Steph can ask a question that you had.
Brother, that's a really good point. Like, I understand everyone's busy, and everyone has their own struggles.
Hmm.
But the one thing we need to understand is that you need to make time.
Yeah.
Like, people say, I don't have time, and I say, make time.
Yeah.
For me, my personal time, I have three priorities. I have God first. I make time for God.
Great.
I have my health, my fitness. That includes my jiu-jitsu, my training as well. But
Yeah.
then I also have my family. Like, these three elements is what produces me. And like, there are days when you're exhausted. We do the 6:30 a.m. Service at Carlingford at Sydney Locale.
Hmm.
We're exhausted because the night before we've done multiple rounds of sparring. We're broken.
Yeah.
I'm 44 now. I I sometimes cannot sleep because I'm so sore. But I turn up and I praise God.
Oh.
My children, they turn up, they praise God. They roll out of bed, they clean themselves up. There is no negotiation. We get there, they're sometimes in the car before I get in, and we drive down to church.
Yeah.
The one thing I need people to understand is that perspective is an important thing. 6:30 church, it's tough. All right, we're tired. I live 10 minutes away. Imagine if I lived an hour away.
Mm.
That changes everything. I'm just blessed that there's a service at 6:30 a.m. because we can't go to church at night because I teach up until 9 o'clock in the evening. So it's like God's way of saying, hey, listen, I've got everything planned for you. This is the map. Go by it. And that's what I've done. I've just listened to God, and my children have listened to God, and we're just really, really blessed. Once again, we're really blessed to have support from our locale members. Our big shout out to Brother Iris as well, Papa Dennis, a lot of those brethren, the deacons, that's always helped us out. Um, and my children see that, the community that we have at our church. It's just a wonderful thing. And when you have a beautiful community that supports one another, that don't need anything from one another, we're all there for God. I
Yeah.
think it's genuine, and people just want to be part of it.
That's amazing, brother. We should actually jump in with a few comments and some shout outs. So, first of all, Sister, no, I might get this wrong, please forgive me. Tricia Abian from North Brisbane. Thank you, Bob. Also, there's some birthday greetings. So, for the 2nd of August, Cardindo Guillermo, Gurley Santos, Alet Dizon. I think that's all on the same day. Then on the 5th of August, Brother Nigel Obinto, and on the 6th of August, Al Rejuego. So that's happy birthdays. Sister Stephanie, are there some more comments we should share? And you're on mute, by the way.
Yes.
That's
Yes, thank you, Brother Warwick. And for the other greetings for Sister Jacqueline Galliarde, this segment is brilliant. Blessed Sunday indeed. And to Brother Andrew Fisher, shout out to the single mothers who played the role for both parents to raise their children. Hi, Mom, hashtag Donnybrook. So I want to say hello to my mother as well, who is a single mother who raised the two of us, my older sister as well, while growing up. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come here and study. To Sister Geraldine Obut, greetings from the local congregation of Central Coast District of New South Wales. Shout out to my dad, Jerry Casilio. You are the best. And Sister Mardi de la Paz, remembering my late father-in-law, who was a great provider and inspiration to the whole clan. Hashtag Adelaide. And for Brother John Villanueva po, I have uh I have a special greeting for you from Sister Hedy Villanueva. Greetings to
Oh,
all NSW from the local congregation and
who
your
could that
daughter
be? She's one of my fans.
and to your daughter as well, Sister Jody Villanueva. A beautiful girl indeed. Happy viewing po from the local congregation of Dean Park.
Oh, thank you.
I had one question for Brother Jamor, and I think any Australians who aren't members of the church who might be watching, I think they could relate to this. Children don't come born with a manual, right? As human beings, we don't have a manual, so it's hard to know as a parent, especially with your first child, what you should do. So I wonder, did your faith play any part in leading you and guiding you, especially when you're at those moments where you didn't have a role model, you didn't have a way forward?
Yeah, look, brother, definitely. God was, like this, the lessons that we read, like that's some of the most like some. It's very interesting that you say that, because some of them, the days where like you might be exhausted, and then you come to church, it almost feels like that lesson was built for you, and
Yeah.
it just speaks to you, and you just come out feeling so rejuvenated. And some of the lessons had been about parenting, the days when you're tired, and they just in a way, like when the minister reads out how to be a good father, how to be a good mother, how to raise your children, you come out of that like, was that even planned? And these were times that you actually feel more inspired to actually be a better parent. And yeah, it happened a lot during that time when I was, it still does now, like some of the most amazing lessons are the ones where like it just speaks to you right then and there, goes straight to your heart. And we had a lot of that during, when our children were born. Even now, it's even better now because now my children, my two eldest, they're in the adult worship service, so they can actually listen in. And when you get those lessons, we're all on the same page. That's the one thing, is to make sure that we're on the same page. Wife, husband, children, if
Yes.
we're all on the same page,
Mm.
then there's cohesion in the family.
Absolutely. That's amazing,
Yeah,
brother. Thank you for sharing that. I can relate to that, but that's amazing. I couldn't have said that's so well said, brother.
That's why. That's why for all of those who are watching this radio show at the moment, who are not yet members of the Church of Christ, Iglesia Ni Cristo, that's why we invite you to come and join us. Because then, if you want to see how we have our family, the way the church does we have a lot of activities called the Christian Family Organization. So we have an event for that, for all the family and all the family units to get to know each other, build a bond together, and create better, good positive role models, good positive parents, good children. We invite you to come to just reach out to us either through one of our social media platform, INCRadio.org. You can go through as well. Or if you know a chapel near you or a member of the Church of Christ, just reach out to them and say, hey, look, I saw your program. I'm just curious about what I can do with my children as a parent, or what can I do as a child or as a teenager looking, searching for myself, looking for things. That's why we invite you to the Church of Christ and just to listen in and just, perhaps take a little bit of advice. You can take it or not, but you can at least hear, and there's an option for you. So we invite you all the time because we do love the world to be a better place and to produce people and family like Brother Jamor has at the moment. So we invite all of you to please continue to listen also every week in our show. But if you can, try to attend one of the worship services or reach out to us in some of the other our website that I mentioned previously or social media. So that's great. Sorry, Brother Work. I think I cut you off. That you were asking a question there.
No. That's it, brother. You said that very well, actually. There's a couple of greetings, and maybe we should read a couple out. And then we should probably give Brother Jamor a chance to give his greetings. So there's hello, Bot, to all brethren in Australia. Greetings from the local of Caboolture, from the District of Queensland. Renalyn Limbago, happy viewing, Bot, from the locale of Melbourne in Victoria. Karnina Stopan, to all the locals, Kumusta, Kayong, Lahapot, from local Central Coast, Districto in Australia, New South Wales. Okay, so we should probably hand over to Brother Jamor to give out his greetings.
Brother, thank you. Look, I just want to say hi to all our brethren in the Sydney locale, even Western Sydney as well, because I'm from Western Sydney. Brother Jay Cosme, our minister, Brother Iris, Brother Dennis, and your family. It's great that our family are with yours, and I really do appreciate spending our time with you guys at church. And then also my beautiful wife as well, who's listening in while she's working today. Sister Reiko, thank you for everything, and thank you for being part of our family.
Thank you so much, Brother Jamor, and to all our listeners and viewers out there. Now it's your turn. If please let us know on the comment section. Just let us know what are some of the key takeaways you've received from today's show. For me personally, the key takeaway I have is that Brother Jamor has so much faith in God and the lessons he hears during our worship services, that he's able to provide a positive role model for his children. And these children will also, in turn, moving forward, will find their own spouse in the future. They're looking for a strong, positive person, just like himself, and also like Sister Reiko, his wife. So it's been a great show, and thank you so much, Brother Jamor, and we hope to have you again on the show because you're very eloquent in your speaking and your ability to describe things. I just love the way that you brought your children up. Personally, when I see them, the way that you have a relationship with your wife, I think it's just beautiful. For now, Brother Work, I believe you have some takeaway as well.
Well, so many things to take away there. It was such a rich episode for wisdom and lessons there from Brother Jamor, especially on how to share faith and guide people in the faith, on children in particular. How to bring them up and be that super committed role model. I think Brother Jamor, that's an amazing example that you've given us. You've just been such a committed role model to the children, to your children. By the way, I just saw a special message that I think it's we should share out. So Sister Ellen Joy Alapon, greetings pot to our resident minister, Brother Romy Kartalaba, in the locale of Dandenong in the district of Victoria. So I just wanted to make sure that was out there. That's a special message, a greeting. Okay, so I think today's episode, we should bring it to a close. It's been a very, very special episode. We almost don't want to end. But just as today's episode did, we hope it reminded you of the quiet strength, enduring love, and lasting impact of fathers. I'm certainly very deeply touched by the things that Brother Jamor has shared. So whether through words or actions, fathers' examples leave the footprints we carry for life.
Thank you so much, Brother Warwick, Brother John, and Brother Jimor. Thank you for having us today as well. Thank you so much to all our viewers for tuning in. We hope today's episode inspired you, whether you're a dad yourself, remembering your father, or learning how to become a better role model. Join us again next Sunday for more heartfelt stories and meaningful conversations from across Australia. And I just want to add, for all the single mothers and single fathers, I just want to say, do not lose hope. Lead your children to a good path, and always walk towards our faith.
That's beautiful, Sister Steph. And a huge thank you as well to all of our INCRadio Australia team for making this episode possible. We will never forget to thank our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Irania Manalo, for the constant guidance and support. Thank you very much, bro. We love you very, very much. But for now, that's it for today. But we'll see you again next time. Until then, take care, stay safe, and honor the footsteps that guide you.
From Hobart, we love INCRadio. INCRadio Australia. From the local congregation of Shepparton, District of Victoria, Australia. We love INCRadio Australia.
From the group worship service of Bundaberg, District of Queensland, Australia, we love and support INCRadio Australia.
Made in Australia.
Never will I let go of loyalty. Never will I let go